It's been a while since we've seen each other. I mean, if you have attended our webinars previously, we had quite a long pause, but now we're back, and we are waiting for how long? For 4 minutes for everyone else to join. The topic of the webinar is on the screen. We are going to talk about UAE corporate tax laws updates that are relevant or become relevant now at the beginning of 2026. And while we're waiting for everyone else to join, let's get to know each other. Please, guys, tell me what are your names, what are you doing, and what are you interested in today? So it will help me and my team to navigate the topics better, to emphasize certain things that matter for you, and to make today's session useful and productive for all of us. Hi, Rami. Super excited to meet you too. What do you do? Please tell us. I believe we're all super interested. For everyone who is just joining, first of all, hi, welcome. And we're waiting for a couple of more minutes for others to join as well. And then we'll start straight away. We'll not waste any more minutes. So we're just giving everyone 2 more, and then we're gonna start. Hi, James. Very nice to meet you too. Do tell us what do you do as well. Rami says laser engraving and gift item personalization. That's great. That sounds very interesting. Something new. Like that's why I love my job, because every time on every webinar or every client who comes to us is doing something I've never heard about. Hi, TMS. What's your real name? Do let us know. Hi, Anita. Working in operation in DSO free zone. You mean like in the free zone authority? Hi, Nora. Also very, very happy to meet you guys. Welcome everyone else who is just joining. I'm very happy to see you here. Once again, my name is Anastasia, and I'll introduce myself and Movingo very, very soon. Very happy to see you all here. We used to do these webinars more or less every week during 2025. And then we had a little break in the end of the year, and now we are renewing this beautiful tradition, which we as a team love very much, and I hope we will continue like this year. So I'm very excited to see you, and I think we're ready to start. Whoever is joining us later will join. Let's start with a couple of simple rules that we all should follow during this webinar to make the session productive for everyone. First of all, today we're talking about UAE corporate tax laws updates that are relevant in 2026, which means not all the updates are from 2026. A lot of them are from 2025, but were not implemented yet, or maybe you didn't hear about them. And together with our corporate tax consulting team, we've created a list of the updates that we want to cover here. If you'll have more questions about more updates, about what else is important, or you'll have any other tax related or bookkeeping accounting related questions, come to us, email us, text us, book a meeting with us. My colleagues will be sending the link. That's why we're here. I'm going to share let's say the top 6 topics that we as a team find the most relevant. If you'll have any questions that are not from this top 6 list, do reach out to us and let's talk about that. This is thing number one. Thing number two, you are very welcome to ask questions. For that, use the chat feature that most of you have already found. Once again, hi everyone, and if you didn't introduce yourself yet, you can do this in the chat, and this will also help you to test how it works when you want to ask questions. I'll have the dedicated time slot for the questions in the end of today's session. And last rule, and I kindly ask you all to follow it, is please do not advertise your services during this webinar, especially if you're our competitor. I know that a lot of accountants and accounting firms and tax consultants and business consultants often treat our webinars as like educational events and treat this chat box as a free advertisement platform. It's not the case, and let's respect each other's efforts. You can organize your own webinar and invite your own crowd, but today it's Movingo's stage, and we're going to tell about our services as well. That's it. Hi, everyone, once again. Let me tell you a couple of words about myself. Well, my name is Anastasia, and I'm co-founder of Movingo and co-host of Culture Mapping podcast. That's how I usually introduce myself. I am preparing these webinars together with our tax team, or if it is related to accounting, together with our accounting team. That's why if I won't be able to answer some very narrow or very specific questions, bear with me. I'll connect you with my colleagues, and they will help you for some cases that are more specific and need a closer look into them. I do recommend you to listen to our podcast, especially if you do business in the UAE. I'll explain you why. First of all, because our mission is to talk to entrepreneurs and in general talented people based in the UAE. And those people give amazing insights about how to live here, how to build partnerships here, how to find even friends here, how to fundraise here, how to negotiate here. And like I've mentioned, four most interesting, in my opinion, topics that might be interesting for you, and also mentioned the name of the guests. So if you want to navigate the business scene of this beautiful country better, I invite you to listen to our podcast. Now this QR code will lead you to our YouTube, which we started just a few months ago. And before, it used to be an audio-only podcast. So if you prefer audio-only, any audio platform like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you just go there, type culture mapping, and then you'll be able to find us. A couple of words about Movingo. We focus on services for entrepreneurs and do all the boring admin things that free entrepreneurs time, such as company incorporations, liquidations, visas for founders, employees, and also teams and families relocation. We also cover everything regarding accounting, taxes, and all around. We also help with AML, reporting if necessary, policies and procedures as well, if it is relevant for you. And one of the very important things I believe we do is we focus on education for UAE-based entrepreneurs. We have a lovely knowledge base on our website. Now it's called blog. We are redesigning the website to finally call it knowledge base, what it actually is, where we write articles about things that are relevant for people who do business in the UAE. And of course, we're hosting these webinars and events as well. So these are the pictures from our latest event together with Dubai Chambers. And these online and offline events are very important in what we do. I'll be very honest with you, because it feels much better when you not just sell services, which we totally do, and what I'm going to do later today, but also give a lot of useful information that actually helps people to work, build businesses, and navigate in the UAE in general. So thank you all once again for coming, and I'm super, super excited to see you here. I think I didn't mention, but I'll mention it now, that our webinar will last 1 hour, so 55 minutes is left, and these are the topics we're going to cover today. As I've mentioned, this is our, let's call it curatorial selection of topics that our team thinks are the most relevant for the businesses in the UAE. 5 of them are regarding, let's say 4 first one are regarding the recent updates in corporate tax law. The 5th one is about e-invoicing, which is not really a corporate tax law update, but still it's a very important update that will be relevant for all of us, for us as well. We're still a business also operating in the UAE. And number 6, it's like our top question of the last 2 months that we get from our clients, like, okay, we got a penalty, but there was a waiver, but nothing is waived. What do we do? How do we do? I'm going to answer all of that. And I know that we all receive those messages and emails nonstop, and it can really make people super, super stressed. And we're going to tell you how to reduce the levels of stress as much as possible. So I think we are ready to start. Again, these are just 5 key changes in corporate tax law. It's not like everything, not all the updates in the world, but the most important ones in our opinion. And I do recommend you to stay till the end of today's webinar, because in the end, we're going to give you a promo code for 20% discount of all our services, which can be accounting, bookkeeping, consulting, or tax filing, you name it. Any service will get 20% off. And also, we're going to gift you a checklist where you can check if your financial statements are fully compliant, if they're good for audits, if they're good for corporate tax filing, and so on and so forth. So stay for 50 more minutes to get both. And I'll start with 3 stories of people who didn't follow the laws updates. Yes, this is kind of a scary start to today's session, but unfortunately, that's also the truth. That's why I can't not tell you about the things I'm going to tell you about. So this is just, let's say, a name that I just came up with yesterday when I was reviewing my slide, but to be honest, we had several cases like this, but let's call them all Nick. Several people approached us with the need to pay 10,000 dirham fine because someone told them, or they decided that they weren't an LLC, a limited liability company, but were a sole establishment, meaning a company with just one owner, kind of a sole proprietor, you can also call it. And there was a confusion in corporate tax registration because they were either not registered because they thought that they didn't reach the threshold, which is different for sole proprietors and LLCs. Sometimes it was that they had 2 profiles and they still had to pay the fine because under one profile on FTA portal they didn't file anything. So several very, very similar situation. But what do you need to understand from this sad example is that in the end, you guys need to be able to also check and cross-check the work that is offered to you by different services providers. And you need to be able to check what's actually written in your license and what needs to be done. And if your license says plain LLC, this means you're not a sole proprietor, and the law will be applied to you as if you are an LLC, because you are an LLC. And just from our experience, I can also say that merging and unmerging and closing and reopening those FTA profiles is a huge headache. There is no right, direct, and simple procedure how to do that, and it's super confusing for everyone. That's why I do recommend you to check this, guys, and make sure that you know the difference in taxation for sole proprietors and LLCs, and sole proprietors are freelancers as well. This is very important. So another interesting thing, which is also related to the first example I've just mentioned, we had many people who have confused VAT and corporate tax threshold, and that's why they didn't register on time and got a fine as well. For example, someone heard that threshold for registration is 375 dirham. What is it like? Revenue? Is it profit? In which period? Never mind, because sometimes we just hear something but don't really double check. And a lot of people thought that this threshold actually applies to corporate tax. That's why they didn't register. That's why they got a fine. And this is not a fine we can waive. So I usually had a few slides about this during our corporate tax webinar, but we don't do it yet because we assume that we all know about the general rules of corporate tax and now just need the updates. So I'll just tell you in short. So for your turnover, when it reaches 375,000 dirhams in 12 months, this means you reached your VAT registration threshold. As for corporate tax, there is no registration threshold because there is only, you have to register anyway, and you have to do this within the 3 months after company formation. And the same 375,000 threshold in the context of corporate tax is something different. It's the first 375,000 of your profit that are going to be tax-free, basically. This is where the confusion lies, and this is where a lot of people get the fine, like Lana, who was not Lana, but it doesn't matter. We got several cases like this during the last couple of months, unfortunately, so pay attention for this too. And number 3 is an ancient example. I think I have it in my webinars for at least a year already. But when you get any notifications or when you see that some deadlines are approaching, maybe someone says it, or you see an ad on Instagram or LinkedIn or anywhere, do find a corporate provider or an accountant whom you actually trust, or come to have an intro call at least with us, which is free, just to double check. Because we had a lady who has approached us because she thought she needed to register both for corporate tax and VAT. Then she disappeared because she was super busy with work. And then half a year later, she got 2 fines because she just didn't follow through, because she was too focused on business operations and not on, let's say, the admin tasks that seem unnecessary and boring. That's true. Like when we are very much into doing business things, it can be so, but that's why what I do recommend you guys, contact us if you're unsure about anything, and we'll make sure that this is not your case. So yeah, I'm done with the scary stories, and now we can start with the updates that we've selected to tell you about today. So first one is about the new audit requirements. By the way, if you have any questions, you can always use the chat and post them there, and I'm going to answer them a little bit later. So these are the things that you need to pay attention to. So before, everything we knew about audits and mandatory audit requirements was the information mentioned in the corporate tax law, the one that was published in 2023. So basically, this was only saying that whoever has revenue more than 50 million dirhams a year has to do mandatory audit. And if you later on, when there were clarifications about qualified free zone persons, like if you're a qualified free zone person, you will also need it when you actually file your tax return. That was it. No further explanation. Now the revenue rule only applies for companies that are not part of tax group. For tax group, it's slightly different. And qualified free zone persons got new requirements and extra procedures. And then you can just jump to the last line of this table. Basically, the additional procedures are as it will be or will not be prescribed by the FTA. Basically, FTA has left a room for itself to be able to request whatever information they would want to request from qualified free zone persons if they are, for this or that reason, unhappy with the audits they provide. So if you are a qualified free zone person, I'm sure there are a few people doing that. Be ready that your audits can get unlimited amounts of questions and clarifications from the authority in order to actually confirm that you can hold the status. So for the tax groups that I've mentioned already, you will need, guys, to have the special purpose financial statements. There are also many details about that, but if you're a tax group or if you're unsure if you want to create a tax group from your several companies, you know what to do. Contact us and we will tell you what's the best way to do that. But for the sake of today's webinar, I'm trying to keep it short and leave more time for the questions that you actually have. Another interesting thing is about non-resident companies' revenue threshold. Now, for them as well as for the companies that are actually registered in the UAE and are residents in the UAE, the rule will be the same, which is 50 million dirham revenue a year. They'll have to have mandatory audits as well. So this is on the audits part. If you want to find out more about the details and if it applies to you, you can find in the footnotes how the actual law is called. So you can make a screenshot or you can ask us, we can send it to you and just go through and check to make sure that your audits are correct and that you're basically doing everything right. There are new rules also for non-resident real estate investors. So if you, as a company, which is very important, as a juridical person, invest in the real estate in the UAE, this topic is definitely for you. Let's have a look. So now, even investing through fund or investment structures may need corporate tax registration and tax payment. This is the main change that has happened. And we believe this is very important to pay attention to that. If at the beginning it was only about direct income from UAE movable property, so if there were companies, resident and non-resident, investing in UAE property, then corporate tax law applied to them. Now, even if it is investment fund adjustment framework, this will apply to them too. So, and then there are certain rules. Again, if it applies to you, we do recommend either to get a professional help, I wanted to say, either to come to a tax consultant and get the official legal opinion about your particular case, or try at least to read, because this information is not going to be enough to understand it fully. But you need to understand that if you as a company are investing in a real estate in the UAE, you will, even if you are not a resident here, you will get nexus created when you invest now, and which means that you will need corporate tax registration, and then you will also need to pay taxes from the profits you're going to make from those investments. So check the details, read the slides, ask the questions. If you need more detailed information, you know where to find us. So because I'm also trying to check the chat, I won't answer the questions right away, but as I see, there are no many questions, well, zero to be sure, zero questions about real estate investment. So I will move forward. But yes, this is only for the companies. It doesn't apply to natural persons. So this only companies investing in real estate in the UAE. Number 3, which is very interesting, and also it concerns qualified free zone persons. Just a quick reminder, qualified free zone persons are free zone based companies that are electing to pay a 0% tax based on the activities that they have. There were 2 minor changes in the lists of qualifying and excluded activities, and we are basically mentioning them there, and they're only concerning treasury and financing services that are mentioned both in list of the qualified activities, that is on the left side of the screen, and the excluded activities, that is on the right side of the screen. So again, this is a very narrow change. It doesn't apply to everyone, but it's very important to know that this law is now replacing the one that has been issued in 2022. So now this is the final list of the qualified free zone person activities. I have a few examples how it's going to work in practice, but I'll keep them to the part with the questions if we have people for whom it actually matters, because I still want to leave more time for us to actually talk. But guys, if treasury financing services and leasing activities is something that you do, I'll be happy to give you the examples when we'll have the questions part of today's webinar. But if not, I'm moving forward to the next topic. Number 4 is very interesting in my opinion. So sports entities can now be exempt from paying corporate tax. Are there, by the way, any sports related companies here? If so, let me guys know, because I think that's very interesting, and we have a few clients also who are sports, like fitness centers, sport clubs, and so on. That's why it was very interesting change for all of us. So basically, if you're a sports entity, there is a way for you to become tax-free. First of all, it needs to be an international sports entity or ancillary entity, wholly owned and controlled by private persons. So there are certain definition that what exactly it means, but you can already check the list if you're just a sports entity. So basically, whatever you do in the field of sports should do for this exemption. But then you also need to get recognized by the Ministry of Sports, which is a trickier part. Then this needs to become a non-profit company. No private benefit or income or assets can be used under the same legal entity, and no even unrelated commercial business lines. So no, basically you need to transform into a non-profit sports company to become tax-free, which can still be interesting for many people. And we are now looking for ways to do this exemption for a couple of our clients who are pretty interested to do that. And again, you need to be ready to provide documentation to the FTA that will actually confirm that you are first recognized by the Ministry of Sports and you have the certificate. And you will need to draft pretty many policies and procedures that will explain and clarify and prove that this business has no private benefit and basically is non-profit. So this is what concerns sports entities. So if you're a sport entity, maybe you would like to consider that. One more topic, like we have two more, like the one before last is about e-invoicing. So it's already not corporate tax, but very, very important change that is coming already in summer this year. And we're actually also preparing a separate webinar on e-invoicing about how to connect the systems, how to sync it with your accounting softwares and so on and so forth. So bear with us when we finish preparing this webinar, we'll invite you all. Luckily, we have your contacts. But for now, in 2 slides, as it's like webinar with brief updates that we find relevant, let me tell you how it's going to work with e-invoicing. First of all, e-invoice is not the same as your usual PDF invoice, because this is also the question that we got pretty often, like our invoices are already e-invoice because we do them like from our invoice system and they're electronic, and then you can click, there is a link, you can pay, everything is electronic. No, it's not the same. Basically, the invoice is going to be a document like the one you can see on the right side of the slide that is going to exchange this encrypted data between buyer, seller, and the government authorities. So all the payments are actually properly tracked and are in the same government-run system. It will be more strict with which data is going to be exchanged and which data is going to be put on those invoices, because now I know that a lot of people, I know, and they see it a lot when I just go to check our clients' documents, like a lot of invoices are very creative, I would say. When we are moving to invoices, these details that you can see in the first column of the slide, this will become mandatory and all invoices will have to be very much standardized. So when is this happening? First of all, you need to understand that invoices are not applicable for B2C businesses yet. I'm 100% sure this will be added later on, but for now it will be only B2B and B2G businesses. Then they will need to appoint the so-called ASPs, accredited service providers. These are the companies that are slowly throughout, we were looking at them throughout all 2025, and still they're getting accreditation of tax authority to actually provide this service. How to find out who is accredited? It's also very easy. Go to FTA website and they have openly published list of accredited service providers that can do your e-invoicing in future. We still have plenty of time. That's why I'm saying that we're also preparing a separate webinar where we are going to talk more about e-invoicing and its implementation, especially the technicalities. Raise a lot of questions, even for us. We don't fully know yet how it's going to work, but we do have time because the voluntary registration for companies is going to be on 1st of July. Registration and implementation of the system. Then for the bigger entities who have revenue over 50 million dirhams, they will have to actually start using the system from 31st of July this year. Then for smaller businesses, they can still wait until March next year, and then implementation for all should be finalized by 1st of July of 2027. So just to simplify it, if you're a small business, you can breathe freely and wait till March next year. If you are a bigger corporation, you will need to implement e-invoicing already from this year. And if you have any questions about this, do let me know. At the moment, for example, we were talking to representatives of different accounting softwares that we're working with, like Zoho Books, for example, and they didn't give us a definite answer if it will be somehow automatically synced within the accounting software, or if you will need to actually first select your service provider and then do the sync yourself with the accredited services provider. So this is still a bit gray area, unfortunately. But as we know, and as we've seen with corporate tax law and so on and so forth, it's gonna develop further, and we will see how it will develop, and we will keep an eye on this and try to update you in our newsletters and during our webinars. And now we have one last topic, and then we will move to your questions. That's why I've seen your questions, but not to disturb the flow of the presentation. I'm just trying to ignore them, which is not very easy, but I'm trying to stay focused. So the last topic in this update webinar is called FTA penalty panic. And this was inspired by my colleague Anna, who is also a moderator at the webinar here today, and she's our operations manager. And if you work with us, you probably know her very well. So she was saying that a lot of clients were getting very, very nervous during the last 2 months, saying that they receive endless amounts of messages and emails about the penalties, even after the tax returns were submitted, and everything's supposed to be well. What do we do in this situation? I'm going to tell you. So basically, how to waive late corporate tax registration fine if you are eligible to this. First of all, you need to submit reports within the first 7 months of your reporting period, which means for most of the businesses, your corporate tax submission deadline this year is going to be September, and you have to submit before July in order to have your 10,000 dirham fine waived. Optional, but we recommend, and we also do it for all of our clients, to use the Waiver B administrative penalties reconsideration form. Usually you can only find it on the portal when you file reconsideration. For example, when you applied and the fine is still there and you ask FTA to reconsider, then they suggest you to use this form. But also for many clients, just in case, we submit the returns, and at the same time we also send them this Waiver B declaration form. Sometimes it helps, I'll be very honest with you, sometimes it doesn't help, but it's better to do everything that is in our power to make it happen than to do just, I don't know, like 50% of what can be done. In general, as per corporate tax law, and this is something that every tax consultant in the EU will tell you, fine will be waived automatically. And here I'm saying, well, almost, because from our experience, even when we file, very often fines are not waived. Our clients keep receiving messages and emails, and sometimes the letter helps, sometimes a call to FTA helps, sometimes nothing helps, but we continue being in contact with FTA regarding every case we work on. And in most of the cases, this is like the panic part, even when the fine is waived and you can clearly see it in your account on the Emira tax portal, very often the automated messages also don't stop. Like the return is filed, the fine is waived officially, but you keep receiving emails and messages. You still need to pay attention to that, but also pay attention to what is actually done and save all the documents and the screenshots and the proofs of what was done and when, in case you would need to have a let's say, deeper conversation with FTA regarding that. And just a simple reminder, you won't be able to file your corporate tax returns if your accounting is not done. I even seen some startups that kind of help smaller businesses to file corporate tax returns without doing accounting, just like through some simplified system that they created. Well, FTA can always come back to you and ask questions. That's why accounting is not debatable anymore in the UAE. And the accounting records must be kept for 7 years. This is also something that is very important to keep in mind, that from the moment you register for corporate tax and become a taxpayer in the UAE, you need to make sure your accounting records must be kept for 7 years. And why am I doing all these reminders to you? And in general, why do we care so much about sharing the updates, even in this like short, simplified format? Because there are 13 different types of fines related to accounting standards and corporate tax in the UAE. You can find them in this table of violations and administrative penalties. And unfortunately, what we see now with potential clients that come to us and ask for help and ask questions, the fines are there, the fines are growing, the fines for late filings are growing, and still a lot of businesses are not aware of that. And we really hope to change this for the best with our webinars and with the articles we actually post. So I'm getting close to the moment when I'm going to answer your questions. I see them all, I promise. I just wanted to remind you, if you guys want to work with us, if you want our help with accounting or taxes or companies or visas, these are like our 4 core services, you will get a 20% discount if you've attended this webinar. To claim the discount, either scan the QR code and book a meeting with my colleague Anna, or you can also WhatsApp us and we will come back to you. But usually we will still invite you to have a meeting with us. That's why you can go ahead and book a meeting straight away. Also, maybe you will need accounting cleanup, like, for example, when you have a longer period, like a year or 2 or 3, sometimes people are coming even with 4 years to us. And if you need an accounting cleanup with discount for this service, we only have 10 spots. So again, if you want to get 20% off for this service, go ahead, scan QR codes, book a meeting with Anna. She'll talk to you, she'll guide you through how we actually work, and we'll be very, very happy to work with you guys. And a little bit about our services. I've stolen this slide from one of our ancient webinars, which is about, in general, apart from corporate tax, what else is needed for business, what else is mandatory for business in the UAE. And this is how we came up with this pyramid of business needs, as we call it. And basically our services are supporting every level of your business needs when you operate here in the UAE. So the bare minimum is bookkeeping and corporate tax returns, and this is the subscription that starts from 500 dirhams. Then when you grow and already operate and start to glide on the legal rails, as one of our clients called it, and now we're just having it as an inside joke, which I'm also trying to share with all of you guys. For example, when you need to register for VAT and also file VAT returns, this is a different package, slightly bigger than this. Then, for example, when you already want to optimize your finances or optimize your visa spending and make more, golden visas, for example, for your employees, this will be a different package that starts from 5,500, and maybe you want all of this and full PRO support, which we also do, this is going to be a package from starting from 7,000 dirhams. So depending on where your business stands, we can offer you a certain package of services that will cover your needs at that very moment. And these are the prices as promised, with 20% off for you guys as our webinar participants. So if you got interested in any of this, you know what to do. Anna just shared the calendar link where you can book the meeting with us, or you can also WhatsApp us, or maybe you can also email us. If you want, you can also do that. Maybe Anna, you can share your email there. We'll be happy to get in touch with you via whatever communication means that is more comfortable for you. So again, how to claim your discount? You know how to do that. Scan the QR code or follow the link, book a meeting with us, have a short intro call with Anna, and she'll guide you further. This link will be available for 2 days, 2 working days until Friday, and the special offer with 20% off will also be available only until Friday. So if you're interested, do let us know, get in touch with us, and we'll do our best to help you. So now you can still take your time and book the meeting. I'll scroll the chat up and answer your questions. So I'll start with the first one from Nora. Can you share the document after the webinar? We are recording the webinar. You'll receive the recording and you'll be able to pause and release and rewatch any part of this webinar if you need it. So yeah, this is the same question from Mila. Yeah, it is recording. Then there is a question from Paulina. Have any of your clients got any requests from FTA on their 0% corporate tax submissions? Till date, no. But I expect we may receive anything, but until now, I'm not aware that we got any special requests from FTA about our submissions. But my colleagues who are here with us, if I'm mistaken, please let us know in the comments. And there is another question from Suji. All companies are required to register for corporate tax, and they need to pay corporate tax only if their income is above 375 for a year. Is that right? So yes, you have to register, and you will start calculating corporate tax when your profits will be above 375. That's correct. So basically, whatever your profit amount, you deduct 375 and pay 9% from that amount. But even if it is below 375, you will still need to file corporate tax return. This is important to understand and not to miss this part. Nora, I think you were asking about the real estate investment. This law I was talking about was only applicable for the companies that are investing, not for natural persons. Let me find something else. Shahram, does this also apply if UAE businesses either in mainland or free zones have customer abroad? Can you, to which, probably it was a question to some particular topic or slide. Can you clarify to which one? Because now I can't follow regarding which one this question was. Then there is a question from HD. We have B2C and B2B. Will e-invoicing be applicable? For B2B, yes. But if you're SME, you've seen that your implementation date is much further in time than for bigger businesses. So you have time to grow and implement everything. Bashir is asking how to select service provider for e-invoice. You need first to go to FTA website and find the list of accredited service providers. And using this list, you'll be able to check their website, check their offering, and select one of them. So this is how it should work. Then there is another question from Mila. Any tax difference if you are SE instead of LLC company? Yes, there is quite a big tax difference if you are an SE or a freelancer. First of all, you don't need to register straight away, right after company formation, for example. You only need to register when your yearly turnover reaches 1 million dirhams. This is the moment when you need to register and when you need to file taxes. Before that, you don't need to register. And as in the example that I was mentioning at the beginning of the webinar, there was a case when someone registered now the company, which is now our client, for corporate tax, even though they were SE and they didn't need to file, and then they still filed the tax, and it was kind of rejected by the FTA because they didn't supposed to do that. And that we had like several confusion cases like this when they had two separate accounts, and one account had a fine, and there was this situation when they didn't accept the return and so on and so forth. So it's very important to actually follow the law and do exactly as it says. Then there is another question: what does it actually mean, accounting cleanup? So basically, it means if you haven't been doing any accounting for an extended period of time, or it wasn't done correctly and needs to be redone, we can kind of clean up it for you, like, and do it backwards, let's say for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and so on. Rami says that you will be our client for Just Started. We'll be very happy to have you with us. Then there is another question from Noro. If Just Started less than 40,000 dirham income, this 400 is per year. Well, this is not how we calculate our accounting packages. I believe my colleague Anna will be the best person to consult you on that. We are calculating based on the number of transactions that you have per month. So if it is below 10 or 15, sometimes we extend it to 15, you will fall into this category of the Just Started package. Pauline is asking if the discount only for new clients or for existing customers too. Well, for existing customers, unfortunately, this won't apply. This is only for the new clients. But we will find a way to get something nice for our existing customers for the contract renewals, which we usually try to do. Malala is asking, do you provide auditing services? No, we do not provide auditing services because we're not an audited firm. Audited firms need to have a separate license, but we do have auditing companies that are our partners, but unfortunately we won't be able to extend this beautiful discount to them. There is another question from Rami. I use Zoho and already connected with my bank account, and I do constant reconciliation. When the time comes to present for tax, can I connect directly with tax authority? I saw I can in Zoho. I know that accounting software introduces these features slowly, but we still do check everything also manually with our accountants, just to be sure that everything is correct. And also when you need to make deductions and stuff, there can be mistakes. So this is definitely possible in several accounting softwares, but still you need to double check. That's our recommendation. If less than 40,000 income, do I need to submit for CT and filing? Yes, you do, no matter the income. Then there is one more question from Shahram about E-invoicing, will it be needed also for customers outside UAE? Yeah, that's just one standard for all UAE-based companies that you're going to use. Next question from Noro. If I was registered in FTA, but the income is still less than 40K, is there a risk for me? There is a risk to get a fine if you didn't file for corporate tax, even if you don't need to pay tax, actually. You still need to file your financial details. Pauline is asking, the e-invoicing applied to all free zone involves, yes, for free zone companies as well, all UAE registered businesses, if you work B2B. There was a lot of questions. Thank you very much. You can still ask more. We have 9 minutes left. And I would like to remind you that you can book a meeting with Anna if you'd like to secure our discount, or if you want to discuss your case, or if you want to discuss what needs to be done for you, whatever question you have. We have 10 spots dedicated to this webinar. This is how it will look. Once you scan the QR code, you'll be able to select the convenient time slot and book a meeting, and then it will appear in your calendar together with Google Meet link, and you'll be able to actually come to the meeting and talk to my colleague, Anna. I promised the checklist to make sure if your financial statements are audit ready for corporate tax. And also it starts with, as you can see, tax return preparation checklist. So if you'd like to check if you are doing everything right, if your team is doing everything right, if we are doing everything right, if you work with us, you can download this free checklist as well, and be happy, follow it every time you need to submit your financials to the FTA. So we still have 8 minutes. I see one more question from Shahram. I'll answer you now, but in the meantime, I'll return you the QR code with the meeting booking with Anna. Now back to your question. Are the requirements for tax, VAT, or CT the same for free zone companies as well? Do companies in service B2B, do they need to register like mainland companies for VAT or CT when they meet the criteria? Corporate tax, yes. For VAT, there are differences. It seems that at this point of time, you need to come and talk to us, and we will share the details about it with you. So, just once again, I'll tell you one last time what we do, what we can help you with. We work with various sizes of businesses, and we will be super happy to help you with everything, starting from bookkeeping, CT returns, VAT, management reporting, and PRO services. And these are our usual average prices for the services we provide. But for webinar participants, for you guys, to thank you for spending this afternoon together with us, we made 20% off on all the services. And if you'd like to use this wonderful opportunity to get our services cheaper than they actually are, we invite you to book a meeting, follow the QR code or follow the link. Maybe Anna, you can resend it one more time, and just talk to my colleague. She will help you navigate. She will send you questionnaires if necessary to evaluate the scope of works that needs to be done, and we will be very happy to actually work together. I see one more question. All my revenue generated outside Dubai, total 500,000 dirham, and no local sales. Should I register for VAT? Most probably not, but we need to double check where exactly you are registered and what exactly your services are. To do that, you know what to do already. You know the drill. Get in touch with us and we'll have a look at your particular case. Then there is another question from Mila. For e-invoices, me and my clients need to have own ASP. So my invoice goes to my ASP, who will share it to the client ASP, and this one will share it then to the client. Wait, I really don't understand. What do you mean? It's not possible that till the moment of implementation, people will not have ASP. This is something that is important to understand. Everyone will have it, and it will be one system of information exchange with government. So probably there will be some glitches at the beginning about how will it work when someone already has it and others don't have it. How it will work technically, to be very honest with you, I don't know, and I don't think anyone knows, because we first need to try it. But very soon it will be one system for everyone. The next webinar on e-invoicing will most probably be next month. We're currently working on the content for it to provide more information and make it more detailed, but don't know the exact date yet, unfortunately. Bashir says, I have B2B and B2C, same TRN, what should I do for e-invoice? Not sure yet, to be very honest. Can't answer that, and I hope I will be better prepared for the topic for our next e-invoicing webinar, because I see that also Paulina has a question about e-invoicing. To be honest, like, I can't really answer all the technical questions yet, because it's a new system, and we're still negotiating also with the same service providers to maybe work with our clients. And the technical details about if one side has it and another side doesn't have it, how will it work? Not sure. I'll be very honest with you, and can't answer this question yet. But this is exactly the reason why we are preparing the new webinar. So I think we are ready to wrap up. Thank you very much. I hope it was useful for you. If you have any feedback, any recommendations, any questions, or any ideas about what other topic we should cover next time, please use a couple of minutes of your time and leave your feedback, questions, and suggestions here in the chat box. I'll be very happy to talk with my team and make sure we prepare also deeper webinars with more narrow topics, like, yes, VAT and invoicing separately, and maybe I'll invite some speakers there who can share more detailed information. That's what we're working on at the moment, but today was dedicated to the updates that we as a team found the most relevant. So I'll really appreciate very much if you share feedback, if you share questions, and let me know if it was useful for you. It's very important for us to improve our future webinars. It was, by the way, our first webinar this year. I'm not 100% satisfied, but we usually make them better and better further on. So stay posted. Yes, we usually send all the updates via email. So if you see an email from us, it means that there are some updates we want to share with you. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your time. If you still didn't book a meeting with us, with Anna, you can have one last chance to actually scan the QR code and book it. I'm very happy that you came. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye, guys.